Well, listen, I felt like he played well. He played exceptionally well, and he hurt us. We'll look at the tape. Obviously, we didn't do a good enough job of slowing that down. When a team rushes for 250 yards, not a lot good can happen. But I'll say this, he was impressive just watching him. I thought he played with poise, made some throws. He was smart. He did a good job.
Hey, Sean, what happened on the the fourth down call on the end of the drive right after you guys got the fourth down stop? What happened on that play there?
Yeah, look, it ended up being a sack. We got a little different coverage. Probably it was more of an aggressive call by me, a shot play, and it's one of those where I'll want that back relative to the timing in the game. We had the momentum. Kind of have a bust in protection, and we're trying to take a shot to score.
Sean, it seems like you guys do a really good job of avoiding coming out flat. When this sort of thing happens, why do you think that is? If you even can put a finger on that.
Yeah, look, it's hard to point to one specific thing, but it's something as a coach you think about every week. Are we ready to play? Did we do everything necessary to be ready to play? And so you evaluate your preparation, and we didn't do a good enough job as coaches, starting with myself, and preparing our guys and getting ready. And now look at halftime, we came back out with a little bit of juice and energy and made it a little bit closer game, but clearly we didn't play one of our better games today. That was obvious.
And you guys haven't really faced like a lot of quarterbacks who run, specifically like designed run plays this year. When you're seeing that for the first time in week 13, does that make it more challenging? Yeah,
look, each week we're seeing unique and different offenses, and so was this one a little bit more specific? You might say that, but yet it's an RPO-driven team. And look, Jalen, he played well. He played really well.
Hey, Sean, in that long drive in the fourth quarter that ended with a 57-yard missed field goal, it's easy for people to say, like, there's no sense of urgency or whatever, or you need to move faster. But what goes into that? Like, if you're looking at this drive and people are saying the team's not moving fast enough, like, generally, why would that occur, I guess, if that's question makes any sense?
We're always mindful of where we're at with the clock, where we're at with our timeouts. So I don't know what people you're talking about, but it's something that, there's various tempos we use, and that's what I would say.
The announcers were talking about sense of urgency, which I'm sure you love that term, but I didn't know if that was...
All right, back to the Eagles. Miles Sanders taking questions about his new starting quarterback.
Awesome, man. The tape shows for itself. He's so confident, and so, like, he's a natural leader, and we just needed that. He gave us that spark starting from last week, but man, y'all seen it all. I think we played a total of 4 quarters today, and I think we look like a complete team. Minus the penalties, we got to clean that up, but overall, I think this whole team did a hell of a job.
We'll go John and then Kristen Rogers.
Hey, Miles. Obviously, the big run, 82 yards. Kind of take us through that, and how much did Jalen's presence open up things for you throughout the afternoon?
Opened up a lot of stuff, from the first play to the last. They had to respect him and his legs, and he's been doing a great job just reading the DN and reading his keys to either pull it or take it. But that was the regular inside zone. They've been playing over the top the whole time, letting the linebackers hit certain gaps. But I think the front side linebacker hit the wrong gap, and I just took it out the front, and. Zach had a hell of a block, made one guy missing. To the house I go.
Kristen and then Bo.
Hey, Miles, it seems like you guys were able to settle in a little bit more early in this game. Obviously, it helps when you guys are playing with a lead. Did you feel like there was a different energy today for this offense?
Absolutely. It's similar from last year. We're down to these last 4 games, and only thing we control is really win every game, but starting just week by week. We wanted to go 1-0 this week, and we did that against the number 1 defense in the National Football League and the number 1 team in the NFC. So, just taking it one more week at a time, getting ready for Arizona, and then just keep this thing rolling.
All right, guys, as I mentioned, the Saints had a chance to clinch the division with the win. They get off to a slow start offensively, then they give up nearly 250 yards rushing on the defensive side. Rob, what'd you make of what you saw from New Orleans?
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to say that early in that game it didn't look like they showed up, but when you go on the road and you're going to play an Eagles team that hasn't had much success this year, they benched their starting quarterback, you have a rookie coming in to start, they might have let their guard down a little bit and didn't prepare as hard as they would have, if it was a team with a winning record. So I'm sure they're looking at themselves in the mirror right now like, man, we could have controlled this. We could have they could have won a division. So if they could have went out there and got the job done, they would have been happy with a hat and T-shirt at their locker. Now they got to go into another week, prepare for that week. And I'm sure right now Sean's getting after them like, look, we got to do a better job all across the board here. I got to do a better job because you got to go out there and you got to execute. You got to play the game. And they didn't do that. They didn't look like the number 1 defense from what they showed up on the field and showed everybody today. So they got to go out there. They got to play better if they expect to make a long run into the playoffs.
Tim, it's only one game, but from your standpoint, which one is the bigger concern? The defense that Rob was just talking about giving up that many rushing yards to this Eagles squad, or Sean Payton's offense getting off to a very slow start?
Well, I think it's probably the defense. Look, this team is going to look drastically different once Drew Brees is healthy. And so, when it matters, I mean, I'm expecting number 9 to be the quarterback and, Taysom Hill go back to a, more of a gadget role, or utility role for that football team. So defensively would be the concern. I think what you saw was, a team, and you heard Sean Payton talk about, Philadelphia, kind of an RPO-based offense. And then you add the quarterback run element to it, it gave them problems. I mean, look, in his first start, Jalen Hurts accounted for nearly 275 yards of offense between running it and throwing it. That's not a good thing. And so if you look at the NFC, some of the teams they may face, not necessarily a bunch of teams that can duplicate what Philadelphia did. So from that standpoint, you're okay. But look, defending that in the future might be a bit of an issue, for New Orleans.
Well, let's keep it in the NFC South because